There have been many teams in world football that have been absolutely incredible. I'm talking about teams like the Arsenal Invincibles with Thierry Henry, teams like Pep's Barcelona with Messi, Xavi, Iniesta and company. And today I have to say that this Bayern Munich team is going to be very unstoppable. Welcome to another episode of the Weekend Preview, everyone. I'm your host, Aaron Smith, and welcome to those who are coming for the very first time to the Ball Is Round YouTube channel, where we bring you content from the top European football leagues. And this is our show where we preview and highlight the matches to come on the weekend. So thanks for joining us. And as you can see above, we're also on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, so you can go and follow us on those platforms. And before we start, just to remind you to subscribe to our channel, to like this video, to comment down below and to share with your friends who are also football fans. So now that is all done, let's get right into the action. And we're going to start today with La Liga, which started last week. Our feature match last week was Real Madrid taking on Real Sociedad, and that ended in a 0-0 draw. So we're looking forward to the matches this week for the top teams, and the top team to get into action this week for our feature match is Barcelona, who has their first match this weekend of the season. Of course, Barcelona did not have the best of seasons last year, not winning a single title and many things happening in the camp of Barcelona. But hopefully they can get it right this season and prove their critics wrong. Messi has returned, Coutinho has returned from his loan spell with Bayern Munich, and it's a very good team. Players have left, of course. Suarez left earlier this week going to Atletico Madrid. Also, Semedo has left for Wolves in the Premier League. So they're releasing players, but they have good players, and I think this team will be decent this year. Also, Ansu Fati making his way into the first team officially this season, so he will be playing. And I expect good things from Barcelona this weekend. I expect them to take care of business against Villarreal, who are a mid-table team, but I think Barcelona should take care of business this weekend. And I want to see how Koeman will set out his team. Of course, they'll be without Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, who is currently injured, so they will be starting Neto in goal. Still without Umtiti and still without Braithwaite. So we should see Griezmann up top with Messi, Ansu Fati and Coutinho behind Griezmann. So it should be a good match for Barcelona this weekend. So that's our feature match for La Liga, and now we're going to move on to SerieA, which also started last weekend. Our feature match was Juventus versus Sampdoria last weekend. Juventus taking care of business with a 3-0 win. And we have two feature matches actually this weekend for SerieA. Of course, Inter starting off their season this weekend. For the first match, they'll take on Fiorentina, and this should be a very good match. Two historically good Italian teams, and Inter, of course, vying for the title, came second, 1 point behind Juventus last season, and they have bolstered their squad with players, getting Hakimi from Borussia Dortmund. Well, he was on loan at Borussia Dortmund, but they have Hakimi now. They've got Kolarov from Roma, so now they've got two wing backs. Also signing Vidal earlier this week. Not expecting him to start for this game, but we should see him in the matches to come. So I'd like to see how this team gels in the upcoming games that they will have. But I expect them to take care of business against this Fiorentina side, who have decent players, but I just don't think they're up to the caliber level that Inter are up to. Our second feature match, which takes place on Sunday, is Juventus taking on Roma. Of course, Juventus winning their first game last weekend, as I said before. And this is also a historic game, as two teams who are very good Italian teams. Roma should be vying for the title, but in my opinion, without their star player Zaniolo, who got injured recently playing for Italy. Without him, I don't think Roma is the same team, and I think Juventus should take care of business. But it would be good to see how Juventus plays against this Roma side, as Roma, of course, title contenders. And we'd like to see how Pirlo sets out his team and how they play now against bigger opposition. As Sampdoria wasn't that big of an opposition last weekend, Juventus taking care of business last weekend. So this should be a good game. I'm expecting Juventus to take care of business, but we need to see how they play against big caliber opposition. Now we're done with Italy and now we move on to Germany. Also, we have 2 feature matches for Germany this weekend. And this is, I think this is second weekend of Bundesliga football, I believe. Second weekend of Bundesliga football, and we're gonna start with this feature game on Saturday. Leverkusen hosting Leipzig, 2 teams that have lost their star players to Chelsea. Of course, Havertz, formerly of Leverkusen, and Werner, formerly of Leipzig, both moving to the London side. So they're without these star players, and these 2 teams actually played last week. I think Leverkusen drew last weekend, and Leipzig took care of business 3-1 over Mainz. So we like to see how these teams get along without their former star players. Leipzig, I think, should take care of business in this match though, as I think they're better coached and they just have the better squad in terms of personnel. So this should be a good game to watch, as these 2 teams are also title contenders. But now we'll move on to the big team in the world right now, the big team in Germany, the Champions League winners of last season, Bayern Munich. They will travel away to Hoffenheim, and let me just say, as I said before, this team is unstoppable. They have Lewandowski, the best striker in the world, up top. They have Sané, I think probably the best winger, or is going to be the best winger in the world this season, coming from the left. And they have Gnabry on the right, Kimmich, Goretzka, Müller, backline solid, Neuer in goal. This team, in my opinion, is just unstoppable, and it's going to be hard for any team, not only in Germany but in the world, to beat this team this season. As you saw, they destroyed a decent Schalke side 8-0 last weekend. So I just don't see how Hoffenheim is going to cope with the Bayern attack. I don't even know how they're gonna get in any offense for this game on Sunday. So this should be a goal feast for Bayern this weekend. So go and check out the Bundesliga matches this weekend, as this league is bound to bring you goals with Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. Now we're gonna move on to the Premier League, the big league in the world. And the Premier League actually had its highest scoring weekend last week. Many goals were scored, and we're expecting another big weekend for the Premier League. We have 2 feature matches as well for the Premier League, and we're going to start with my team Manchester City taking on Leicester City at the Etihad Stadium. Both teams have had winning starts. Man City playing their first match earlier this week, taking care of business against a good side, a very good Wolves side, taking care of business, defeating them 3-1. Leicester have also won their first 2 matches and sit near to the top of the table. This should be a very good game. 2 teams that love to attack, and in my opinion, not as solid defensively as they need to be. I've already said what City needs to do in terms of bringing in another defender. I think Mendy is, as a City fan, I don't like Mendy. He is not good defensively, good attacking wise, but absolutely horrific defensively. Saw him get bullied by Adama Traore earlier this week, and I need to see my defense doing well if they're going to win the Premier League title, but more importantly the Champions League title. But for this game, of course, we're expecting Man City to dominate the possession and Leicester to play on the counter attack. Will this work for Leicester? We'll have to wait and see. I think Man City will penetrate their backline, and as I watched Leicester in their game against Burnley as well earlier this week, I think it was on the weekend, they didn't look defensively solid. They brought in Castagna. He looks very good, but in the middle with Ndidi, I just don't think Ndidi suits that centre back role. I mean, he's just filling in for now because I think Johnny Evans is currently injured, but I just don't think him and Soyunchun, I think that's how you pronounce his name, I don't remember. I just don't think they're capable of doing it together, and I think against this City side they will have some problems. But City also have to be wary of the counter attack with Vardy, Maddison, who may start this weekend, and the rest who have speed. So that defense of City needs to be wary. But I expect City to win as per usual. Now for the final game, the final feature match of the weekend, which is the big one. Liverpool hosting Arsenal, I think. Is Liverpool hosting? Yes, Liverpool hosting Arsenal on Monday coming. This should be a very good game. Of course, Arsenal defeated Liverpool recently in the Community Shield. And I think this game can actually go any way, because as I have said before, I just don't think Liverpool are sound defensively. They played well against Chelsea, but against that, in that Leeds match, they just didn't look as defensively solid as last season, and I think they can be exploited this season. However, it's a 60 to 40% chance, and I think Liverpool are in that 60% chance of winning because of Thiago. I think Thiago will start this weekend because we expect Liverpool to dominate the possession not this weekend, on Monday against Arsenal. I think Arsenal will try to play on the counter as they did in the Community Shield against Liverpool. But I think this should be a good game. Arsenal defense is going to have to step up. They were very shaky against West Ham on the weekend and just got that scratchy win. So they're gonna need to improve this weekend. I think David Luiz may be back. Don't know if that's gonna improve the team, but we'll see what happens. But I think this should be a good match. But I'm going to go with Liverpool to win the match on Monday. But that's it for our feature matches this weekend. Go and check them out. Go and watch them. And remember to subscribe to our channel. Comment below what you think will happen in these matches this weekend. And remember to like the video, to share with your friends who love football, and to subscribe. So thanks for watching and have a good rest of the day.